Good morning, Patriot fam.
Sorry, I'll put the phone down. I swear, I swear. Good
What
morning. Happy
happened?
Monday morning. Oh my gosh.
Happy Monday, MAGA morning, you guys. It is an incredible morning. We have hostages being released and just watching them being released into the arms of their loved ones. Um, it's amazing. It makes me
It is
tear up a little
amazing.
bit.
Yeah, it's amazing. And I mean, listen, there's a whole story about it. We're going to spend a good portion of the first part of our show
Yeah.
talking about that, just that, not only celebrating it, but discussing, first of all, how did we get there? And do we see any of the fingerprints of what took place over in the Middle East here in our country? Because I think it's something we need to keep our head on the swivel about, definitely. We'll be talking about that. We'll be talking about those that still don't get it. In Portland, I don't know. It's like at this point we're gonna need. I don't know. It's very weird. Very weird.
My
The
battle
left still
buddy
doesn't get it.
Chad Caton is down in Chicago right now.
Yes, Chi-town.
Dealing with those ICE riots, Antifa terrorists.
And
Insane.
it's even though he says it's not as big as it was in Portland, that doesn't mean that it can be any less lethal, right? And so
Right.
there's also some Allie, some breaking news again coming out about Barack Obama and his administration. There's some lengthy videos we're gonna go through this morning,
Okay.
and also talking about. There's a very cute, touching moment with Trump that I wanna share with our viewers towards the end, because I like to show him as a person. Right?
Yes.
He's a father. He's a
Humanizing.
grandfather. Yeah, yeah. The human side.
Of
Guys, thank you
course.
for locking it here on Open Mic. Before we officially open the mic, I want to make sure that you like, share, and subscribe. That you also comment below. Let us know if there's any topics you'd like to specifically talk about. We'll try to make sure we get that in there. Otherwise, Allie, let's go ahead and open the mic.
Yes, let's open that mic, y'all.
Taking back our freedom, back to where we started. We're wearing our red hat tonight. It takes more than just a feeling. Oh, better be believing, and America's gonna be home.
What do you do when they try to cancel you? MAGA Nation, we cancel proof. My red hat stays on. My red hat stays on. You know I love God, but in Trump I trust. November 5th, he gon' ride with us. Our red hat stays on. Our red hat stays on. It's the mayor of MAGA, the RNC King. 2024, freedom gon' ring. Mr. Red, White, and Blue. I'm still fighting for each one of you. And keep your red hat on.
What do you do when they come for you? Freedom's what you gotta lose.
Gotta kind of like dance to that song. Allie, how's your
I know.
Monday morning going?
Pretty good. I still have. Look, you guys are just gonna have to get used to my voice until after my son is done playing football. I can't help it. I'm the crazy football mom, and I go absolutely crazy when he catches because he's a wide receiver. Then I would be this way if he was like a
And
corner,
he's good.
or if he was a
Allie,
lineman.
he's good. He's so good.
He really is. He really, really is. And I get so excited. Every game he catches the game changing play. And it is phenomenal. The whole
So
entire
they go
crowd
to him
goes
under
nuts.
clutch. Does
Yeah.
that surprise our viewers that he would be
No.
somebody great under pressure? Because look at his mama. I love
It's
that.
awesome. But yeah, so I apologize for my voice, but it is what it is. I'm a football mom.
Well,
so just
not just that,
bear
but we
with
had a
me.
couple of political events over the weekend.
And I may or may not have smoked a cigar. It's okay.
Was it a
I have
Liberty
look,
cigar, though?
cigars and bourbon are a weakness of mine. I love it, or cigars and tequila. And I got to hang out with some really cool friends this weekend that I don't really get to see very often because I'm not always around. But we really had a great time. And a couple of my friends are announcing their runs for Congress or their runs for House or here in Florida. And it's just we're kicking off campaign season ahead of 2026. And I cannot be more excited, but I'm also a little terrified because the apathy in this country is very scary. And when you have riots that are going on, like we're seeing across the nation, it makes people more afraid to step out. But also when the president is not on the ballot, a lot of people take a step back. But my issue is if you're going to show up to a rally and you're going to show up to, some kind of convention, you need to make sure you're going to show up to vote. And not just you need to bring people with you to go vote. Because it's important. We can't have 12% coming out to vote in a primary or in a midterm. We said this
yesterday at our Turning Point USA event launch here that And a lot of people were shocked. These are probably people that are somewhat actively like motivated politically in the audience, but very shocked when we told them, even here in the free state of Florida, what the general turnout is for a primary election, which here in Florida is where our school board elections sit. So kind of buried in the noise there of a primary election where turnout is extremely low. But so I completely understand. And Allie, you know, honestly, that's part of the reason why you probably don't have a voice. And I missed you. I missed you over the weekend because normally we spend a lot of time together at events. So glad to see you here today.
And we had to like separate this weekend. You were at one event, I was at the other. But what was funny is that both our names got brought up at each event. So it was really cool. I'm like, oh, okay.
Yes, ma'am, it did.
I love it. It's amazing.
And, oh, wait, that's a different show. Never mind. I'll tell you. And we're going to self-censor there. Sorry, just for a second. Different show. All right, so let's keep that mic open. It's confirmed the hostages that were being held by Hamas in Gaza from the October slaughter that happened in 2023. Basically, it's the equivalent of their 9/11. So now they've gotten the hostages back, but obviously not all alive. And so let's just take a quick look at this. I think we've got a little video here. That is the moment in Israel where they announced that the hostages were officially released. So they were waiting, holding their breath there to make sure that they would follow through.
That it would happen. I mean, I couldn't imagine being, that's kind of how we were feeling being on this side of the aisle. But like when you are like living that and you're in it and you're the parent or the spouse or the family member of someone that has been held hostage for the last 2 years, I mean, it's heart-wrenching to know whether or not they're going to actually come through. And when you finally hear that, it's like this weight is lifted and all you can do is just praise the Lord. That's what I would do.
I found it interesting, Allie. So that little gathering there, not a little gathering, it's a big gathering, is in Tel Aviv's Hostage Square. So that tells you a little bit about, that they have to have a gathering place where they come to await the news of hostages from their country.
Drama. Good Lord.
Absolutely. It's
but you know
crazy.
What? There's something that I did notice too. There's only men. None of the men returned? None of the female hostages have been returned. They're all dead. They've all been raped and murdered.
Raped, tortured, and murdered. Allie, so can we do a little sidebar here?
Absolutely.
Okay, so, because you and I talked about this a little bit this morning.
We did.
We're two very outspoken women in the political arena, but really just being active. I just think we're women. Most women are outspoken, to be honest, in this country. So when we talk on this show or at events we're at about the extreme nature of extreme Islam and following Sharia law and the potential of that coming to this soil, the reason why this is something that I think is so heavy on our hearts, especially you and I, is because who do you think the first ones are that would be forced to go silent if we lose our footing in this country? Try getting me in a burqa. Let's see how that works. Try.
We would be dead.
Do you know what I mean? And so, and then the other part of that is, this is why next to them putting woman face on a man and trying to tell me that that's okay, next to that, because that is offensive. What is equally offensive is to see the rise in extreme Islam and people that want Sharia law in this country, because that is a direct threat to a woman like me and a woman like Allie.
Yep. And
third
my children.
And third is, Allie, and we didn't really talk about this morning, you and I, but I was thinking about it in the drive into work. Where are the men that are talking about the protection of women in this country and why Sharia law should not? We have men that are standing up. We have men that are saying that Sharia law should not be an option, but we need to specifically hear the reason why, that it's for the protection of our women and our young girls in this country. Because if the men in this country don't equally agree that they need to stand up and fight for this, feminism basically just completely extinguished itself, if you know what I mean.
Yeah. Well, And I get that a lot of them are talking about Constitution. It's
Sure.
antithetical to the Constitution. Yes, it is. However, it's also very, very, very dangerous for women of this country.
Yeah.
I mean, you wipe out all the women or force enough of them in our population to go silent, we're done. Because especially because men have been beaten down so much over the last several years with feminism because of the feminist movement. It's difficult for me to even have that kind of hope that men will stand up and get in the way and stand in the gap. Because what have we seen over the last several years? We've seen women that have been chased, assaulted in front of men, and they've just stood there.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So yeah, no, it's a roof. And I don't like to say fear, but like it is. It's a real fear because
it better be front and center in our prayer life and in what we do and how we move throughout our day. Is it fear? Will it make you go silent? No. This show is open mic. There's never going to be a moment that we go silent. Yeah. And but you know, it's something worth talking about. I think just that is the biggest threat to women like you and I who do what we do, and that's one of the reasons why we showcase it on here all the time, because we would just want to make sure people are aware of what's happening. Very, very elated to see what's taking place over in Israel. Obviously, Trump is over there. He's taken a trip there. First trip is to basically the Israeli parliament, I guess you could call it. And then he's also moving on to the others that are signing on to this peace plan. He said this morning, Ali, to try to figure out what portion each country is going to participate to the rebuilding of Gaza, because this isn't Israel's job alone. It's not America's job. Everybody that's living in that area needs to kind of pitch in. But let's take a look at just a couple of videos here. I think we've got one of Trump coming off of Air Force One here. Take a look. No audio really here. So obviously meeting with those in the Israeli government there, welcoming him. There is another second video that is more of a local news report there in Israel. Let's take a listen.
We understand that the 13 remaining hostages have been handed over to the Red Cross by Hamas. We saw this process take place a little earlier this morning as well, where 7 hostages were handed over from Hamas to the Red Cross. The Red Cross then took them to Israeli forces, and we know that 7 of those hostages are now in Israel and 13 remained. We understand now those 13 have been handed over to the Red Cross, and you can see those images of Khan Yunis where we can see both Palestinian people as well as Hamas just standing by that Red Cross convoy, the motorcade, as it makes its way out of the area with those 13 hostages driving towards Israeli-controlled territory in Gaza to hand those 13 hostages over to the Israeli forces.
Wow. Again, the only surviving hostages to be released, all male. No women survivors in that hostage release.
That's heavy, man. That's really heavy. I'm glad they're released, though.
To be honest, Ali.
And I'm sure the men have been through a lot. They really have. As a hostage with terrorists, that is excruciating. I mean, you had video images of a man literally digging his own grave, and he's just skin and bone, and it's so heart-wrenching. It is heart-wrenching.
And for what I ask you, because they don't have the opportunity we have in this country to practice freedom of religion. And, they want this is why we keep saying Sharia law cannot coexist with the Constitution, because it does not agree with that sentiment. So they just cannot coexist. And that's a perfect example over there with Hamas. Now, Hamas has signed on to the agreement for a ceasefire for the first phase of peace. It looks like they're going to get a portion of Gaza, as we know it now, dialed back to a certain, I don't remember the exact coordinates, but it'll be interesting to see how that plays out. I've heard just in passing, because we've got people that are very well versed and very well educated on this topic here, even in the studio, that there are videos that are surfacing of Hamas torturing and killing Palestinians within Gaza, which is odd because Hamas is supposedly the elected even though they're a terrorist regime, the elected leaders of Gaza. So this is, they're on eggshells over there, but we want to celebrate cautiously the release of these hostages, though.
Yeah.
Oh, just realized there was news coming out unrelated that Fauci has come out again and warned of another pandemic. He said, quote, I'm convinced that there will be another pandemic, and that's the reason why we have to be perpetually prepared to prevent the terrible impact of a pandemic. This man.
Can we lock him up already?
Can we send him to That's going to be replayed.
Yeah, no, she didn't. That's
I did, though. Seriously.
That's
your masks and their mandates over there, Mr. Fauci.
No, I'm serious. That's insane. I don't like. Something needs to happen with this man. He's got to go somewhere. I just go away. Prison. That he should go. He should go there. He should go to prison.
Atrocities committed on our armed services, the men and women that fight, and all of us here. Anyway, we're supposed to be celebrating. This is so difficult. This is so difficult because there's so much heaviness. I love this. No matter your feelings about the Israeli government or Benjamin Netanyahu, I loved hearing him praise Donald Trump, and he vows to do something with next year's Peace Prize. Take a listen.
I have submitted your nomination to be the first non-Israeli recipient of the Israel Prize, Israel's highest award. As to that other prize, just a question of time, you'll get it. But I want you to get the Israel Prize, our highest award.
That's amazing. That is amazing.
As for that other award, that'll come in time. Of course, that video sped up a little bit for time.
When others were weak,
they take forever to talk. It's crazy.
Well, he's a good speaker, Benjamin Netanyahu, but he does draw it out a little bit. So they sped it up on that source. He's not the only one to sing Trump's praises, though. They're meeting in the, I want to say Knesset. That's what they call it. It's sort of like their capital. Their speaker, sort of like the Speaker of the House, Amir Ohana, said this about Trump. Take a listen.
Another American president, but is a giant of Jewish history. One for whom we must look back 2.5 millennia into the mists of time to find a parallel, Cyrus the Great. You, President Donald J. Trump, are a colossus who will be enshrined in the pantheon of history. Thousands of years from now, Mr. President, the Jewish people will remember you. We are a nation that remembers.
I just want to say shout out to Laura. I am Laura Hartman. She said that was a great line, Michelle. So she's encouraging me.
No, it was a good one.
Don't feed the beast. Don't feed the beast. He goes on to say, he goes on to refer to Trump as a parallel to Cyrus the Great, which this is huge for those within that Israeli body of government there, because they understand Cyrus the Great and the role that he played, not only in a strong leader militarily, but also diplomatically, leading when Israel got their land back, leading them out of Exodus. That's a huge parallel to make for somebody in the Israeli government to say that about our sitting U.S. president.
That's huge.
I
mean, I don't think people understand the gravity of that sentence. And you would have to go back and I think it's because a lot of people don't understand the history and how it aligns biblically. It's really just, that's quite amazing.
And many strong leaders have given a tip of the hat to Cyrus the Great, no matter what your beliefs are. Alexander the Great, he was parallel to him, and Thomas Jefferson gave a lot of accolades in the founding of our country, just on how that's done. Yes, you have your beliefs, and yes, you have your morals, but there is a diplomatic process that some leaders really understand, and they're really good at it. You can be a great leader, but not really understand the diplomatic process, and I think we're seeing it not only with Trump, we're seeing it a lot with Secretary of State Marco Rubio, who's a Florida boy. And Trump, as I was listening this morning, he's giving a lot of accolades. First, he gives a little pushback to Marco Rubio because he says, you know what, you were a tough opponent in the presidential primary. You weren't very nice.
Well, look at how amazing he's done. As he alluded to, I'm sorry if I'm taking your.
No, go ahead, sweetie. Go ahead.
He alluded to him. He literally said that he was going to go down in history as the greatest Secretary of State. in U.S. history, and I couldn't disagree with him. I think Marco Rubio has really shined in this position, and he is a great asset to this administration, even though he wears like 15 hats, and he's probably sitting down trying to figure out if he's got to do,
he's trying to figure out, today's Columbus Day. He's like, do I get the day off or am I still working? Like,
right. So it's really funny, just to see them like back and forth in that relationship that they have, despite going up against one another for the presidency. It just goes to show that President Trump is somebody that you can, it's not personal to him.
Yeah.
His mission really is about America and making sure that the world is a better place than what it was previously. And you can see this through not just Charlemagne the God, right? I hate calling him that, but that's his name, Charlemagne.
Charlemagne, you're not a god, but we love you.
Right. Charlemagne. And then Stephen A. Smith. They're all talking about President Trump. And these are people that have historically been against him because of what they've been taught. But when you've been fed nothing but words with no action behind it, and you see a man who you've been told to hate, he's been drugged through the mud with all the lies and things through the media, and through our political process, and you're told to hate him, and then you can't because you see his words are matching his actions, your perspective changes. And this is what I call politically the Trump effect. It's changing perspectives and it's changing minds because he really does care about the American people and about peace and prosperity.
Well, Allie, yes. What I think it demonstrates, too, is Trump's integrity when it comes to leadership. He didn't put somebody that necessarily would have been the most comfortable person as his Secretary of State. It's the ability for leaders to understand, and I think this can be a difficult thing for a lot of leaders. It's hard to understand how you select somebody to be in a certain position because you know they can handle the task of the job. You might not always agree on everything, but being able to spot people that are gifted in certain areas that can handle that. He hit the nail on the head with Marco Rubio. We've been very, very pleased. Guys, you want just to have a little bit of fun here? We're going to show a little bit of CNN because it was fun to see them even have to admit how proud MAGA these crowds were in Israel. Take a listen.
And, of course, endless applause for President Trump. Endless applause for President Trump.
And when I was there, I even saw people wearing Make America Great Again hats in that crowd over at Hostage Square.
I mean, I feel like Cardi B at this point. Like, you know what I'm saying? Obviously, you're going to see that. Like, why wouldn't you? Why would you think you wouldn't see that? I mean, the man has brokered the peace deal of the freaking century.
Right, but if you're watching CNN, which I know none of you are, but if you're one of their seasoned watchers, and you've been preached for like the last 8 years that all things Trump are bad, they got to be sitting there like, did I just hear that?
How?
Turn up the television. Did I just really hear that? Yes, you heard that. You heard that correct. And it doesn't seem odd to us, but to regular CNN listeners, even they can't deny what's taking place. And again, I don't know who would not celebrate the release of hostages. So if anybody's got anything negative to say about that specific part of this,
notice
they're totally full of that Trump derangement syndrome. Because how do you not celebrate this?
Notice nobody's come out. All the Free Palestine folks that are,
we'll get to them later.
You know what I'm saying? Like it's everybody that's been on the left, the communist left in our country, especially in our Congress. Who, you know what I'm saying? They're quiet.
They're quiet. You're really quiet.
Always in what they're not saying.
So there's talk of maybe changing that Hostage Square to Freedom Square, which I think that would be pretty cool. Take a listen at how excited they are in Israel right now. Take a look.
Thank you, Trump! Thank you, Trump! Thank you, Trump!
Celebrations still underway in what they're calling Freed Square now, no longer Hostage Square.
Do you have a pom-poms there? Yes, get the pom-poms on.
Yeah,
wow.
No, I agree. I think it should be Freedom Square. The fact that they even had a Hostage Square is like crazy to me. Like that is just that's.
It's a sign of just complete. Like it still feels like a captivity, right, of the mind. To think that you've always got to tiptoe around like that. Maybe this is a new, right?
Well, this also goes towards the slavery issue, right? Like when you are consistently in slavery mindset, this is why in the early days, the Israelites were lost in the desert for 40 days because they had to get rid of their slavery mindset. You can't have them rebuild a freedom or a government where it's free of oppression when that's all you know. And so that is what the left has been so successful at doing with people here in America is they said, well, you're descendants of slaves. Look at the similarities between now and then. And there are no similarities, but when you force that upon people that have not properly gotten out of the victim oppression or oppressive slavery mindset, that resonates with them. And so it's very disheartening to see. But it's amazing that they want to change the name and that there is potential lasting peace in the area with all of the surrounding Middle Eastern countries getting on board with this.
It is. And the sentiment, again, keep in mind, guys, here on our soil, the left is trying to feed you a lot of awful talking points about Donald Trump and this administration. Over in Israel, they are understanding the real effectiveness of his leadership. Take a look at this image, which I think tells the story the best. This woman, her sign saying, ending hell, saving lives worth more than a Nobel Prize.
Wow.
That's the sentiment today in Tel Aviv.
Wow.
Now, contrast that to what a lot of the factions in our country, funded heavily by the left, what they're doing and what some of their signs say about President Trump. And I just, there's always been people that have said, try to take a more global perspective. Obviously, as America First, it's very difficult for us to do. But I would maybe return their words back to them this morning and say, maybe take a global perspective. This is how Israel and the Middle East are feeling right now about Trump.
Yeah.
Y'all, could you maybe just stop with the Antifa costume changes? Can we stop?
Let's talk about costume changes, girl. They look straight crazy.
Straight crazy. And we love fashion, but not fascism. Swag.
Where's Brianna? Bree!
We need a new t-shirt.
Brio!
Hey, we live here in Florida, so we know how fun it is when people do designs, aerial designs on the beach, whether it's like these big sandcastle building contests or whatnot.
Oh, yeah. That's amazing.
Did you see this?
Those are always fun.
Guys.
I did see this.
Beachfront in Tel Aviv. Take a look.
How awesome is that? Oh, it's so cool.
I mean,
I love that.
Do you know what this reminds me of, Allie?
What?
As we're talking about it, because it's kind of shocking to me to see. Oh, welcome home. Oh, it's so cool. It's kind of shocking to me to see publicly in video images the love for Trump openly in Israel.
Yeah.
And yet how despised the left is to him here, which is really a small minority, but they're going to make you think it's bigger than it is here in his homeland. But it reminds me of, okay, buckle up for a second. It reminds me kind of Jesus, right? He was denied amongst his own people. They threw him out of the synagogue, and sometimes that's part of it. Even when you step out in faith, for faith, or you step out in faith for freedom, or you step out in faith just to do the right thing, it's not this idea. We said this at the Turning Point event. We have all these young people yesterday, and I'm glad to see their excitement. But honestly, they understand more than anybody that it's not like when you go out and do the right thing, the world's full of butterflies and rainbows.
Right.
The enemy comes to steal, kill, and destroy and is always going to be there. But that doesn't stop you from stepping out and doing the next thing. So it's kind of shocking that really there's a parallel there. He's not even really well appreciated by a lot of the left in his own homeland, but you go to places that are hungry and thirsty for freedom.
Ma'am, let's be real though. He's not really appreciated by the right either.
Girl, say it louder. I'm
gonna say it again. He's not even appreciated by the right either. Did y'all hear me?
Not being appreciated in your own home.
And we had a speaker that said this at our event yesterday. She said, sometimes, yeah, we're fighting the left and we're fighting the communist left. We're fighting them, but we're also fighting the right. Because the right, some of the right equally are in lockstep with the left. They're just not outwardly saying it. But when they don't stand up for principle and they don't act for what's best for the people in their constituency, or they don't act what's best for the people of their state, or they don't act what's best for the people in their nation, they're complicit.
Yeah. It definitely feels like America First. You're fighting both sides of the aisle to some extent.
You absolutely are.
Well, and we know that it's not, listen, we said this yesterday too at our Turning Point event. We do not battle against people, against flesh and bones. We battle against powers and principalities. That's biblical. Even our Jewish friends agree with that. So I thought this was amazing. Think of all the protest guys that you've ever seen outside the White House or at the National Mall, all the protests you've ever seen. What if I told you that representatives, churchgoers from all 50 states have set up individually these tents, and they're sort of doing this worship time, tent by tent. Take a listen. Very acoustic. That is so cool.
That is really
I
awesome.
want to be there so bad, Allie. Very respectful. We can bring it back, Krista. Yeah. So some of the people on the ground have said that they listened to all 50, and they thought Michigan and Florida were some of the favorites.
Oh, that's awesome.
So Michigan kind of shocks me, right?
Well,
Because you think of the
Michigan,
leadership there.
I say that again.
Because you think of the leadership there, you know.
Yeah, no, for sure. But when you have a president that's there who and an administration that supports our Christian faith, and we are seriously seeing the most attacks on Christians around the world. It's heartwarming to see that on the national lawn, like at the.
It is. And so our tech director behind the scenes here, she said her husband was there, sent us a picture of like this really, really long communion table. So
yes.
That's
so I think this is called like the holy days, or it's not holy days, but like it's something that a lot of the like national prayer groups and church groups and pastor groups are getting together, I think this week, to do this kind of thing. And it's really incredible to see. I think they do it almost every year, but I think now it's hitting us differently because we've seen all of these attacks on Christians around the world, and most people are not talking about this.
Right. Right. Most people are not.
You know, it's
well, Allie, and
crazy
we're gonna get into that a bit in our second segment. We're gonna come back over to to the USA, talking about topics here. Now that we've celebrated what's happening in the Middle East, we should be able to look, guys, and see what's happening over there and watch some of the actions that have taken place in the Middle East. I think specifically about the Iranian women from the 60s and 70s that, lost everything when socialism was, I guess, married to this extreme Islam. They call it the red and the black marrying together, and how that just annihilated and desecrated everything that was wonderful about Iran, including their culture that they should be so proud of. Well, we're seeing that by the extreme left being funded heavily in this country. So I want to encourage you guys, don't go anywhere. We're going to talk more about that when Open Mic continues after this short message.
From the heart of Marietta, Georgia, comes a tribute to the spirit of liberty. Liberty Cigars, where history meets craftsmanship. Each cigar tells a story. The Founders Collection honors the visionaries who shaped a nation. The President's House Collection celebrates the leaders who steered it. And the Naval Series salutes the heroes who defended it. Handcrafted with precision, each blend mirrors the essence of its namesake. From the boldness of George Washington to the elegance of Thomas Jefferson. Indulge in a moment of reflection. Light a Liberty cigar and savor the legacy. Discover your story at libertycigars.com, because every great nation deserves a great cigar. Liberty Cigars, smoke the history. And don't forget to use promo code OpenMic for 10% off your order.
Gold IRA companies are a dime a dozen, especially in conservative media. We vetted out 34 companies and chose Augusta Precious Metals.
With the lowest across-the-board spreads in the gold IRA industry, Augusta saves Americans thousands of dollars.
They are the only major gold IRA company that has zero complaints from their customers. Zero. None.
Augusta Precious Metals does not have commissioned sales reps, which means their goals are aligned with yours.
They were the only gold IRA company that demonstrated integrity and transparency without using gimmicks.
The informative one-on-one web conferences by Augusta Precious Metals answer all of their customers' questions before they make a move.
If you're ready to learn about protecting your wealth and retirement with gold and silver, request your free gold guide from Augusta Precious Metals today.
Visit patriot.tv/gold. That's patriot.tv/gold today.
All right, you guys, welcome back to Open Mic. Before we get into our next segment, I do want to bring up two things. One, I don't know if you guys were watching this yesterday, but yesterday was obviously Sunday Night Football. And Patrick Mahomes, three-time Super Bowl champion, caused a stir after he said, "I am an American. I'd rather be part of something all-American than an NFL circus." He says that he is going to protest the Bad Bunny Super Bowl halftime show, and he's going to tune in to support and honor Charlie Kirk, which is amazing because Turning Point is doing their own thing.
We're going to get to that, yeah.
Right, which is awesome. It's fantastic. The next thing I want to say is, if you're not following on X, the Tampa International Airport, you are missing out on some funny stuff. They posted just an hour ago. It said, "Happy false fall to all who celebrate." And it says
because
winter.
It felt like it yesterday.
Right, because it says winter 2 days, spring 3 days, hot, spring 1 day, toasty, summer, surface of the sun, hotter than hot, and then points, "You are here at false fall." And then two layers down, it says second summer and actual fall. So that is where we're in false fall right now. We're headed into second summer.
And listen, I know there are people watching across the country that, like my sister, I talked to her last night, and she's like, I said, "I'm going to go sit outside in my lanai because like I don't really get to use it." And she's like, "Why? What's the temperature?" And I'm like, "I'm thinking it's like 70 something." And she's like, "Girl, it's 50 here." And I was like, "Oh yeah, you can keep that." So there are people around the country that are like, they have the best weather, honestly, whether it's in the Northeast or, in the Midwest during this time of year. I don't envy the snow, but we got just a taste of fall yesterday. We were so happy at our Turning Point event. And then I woke up this morning, Allie, and I had like the hot coffee in my hand. I walk out of my garage and I'm like, the weather's still here. It doesn't feel like scorched earth right now.
No, but it's going to be 83 today. So there's that.
Is it really? Good Lord. We have another outdoor event tomorrow. So we'll see.
Yeah, I'm not excited. Don't dress in boots, please. It is going to be hot.
Ma'am, what's wrong with the boots?
Okay. When you're standing next to me, you talk about, "I'm hot. I'm sweating, girl." I'll be like, "Well, I told you not to wear your boots, but."
All right, I'll rethink them. Like to
cute
lace up those
strappy heels is where we're at still in Florida.
Open toe. I want to pivot to talking about some topics that kind of relate to what our first segment was about, with what the Middle East has gone through. We have to really tread lightly when we see in our country this extremism in the Islam faith as regard to wanting to implement Sharia law here in this country, because obviously Allie and I were talking earlier. That's a direct threat to exactly what Allie and I do. But take a listen to some behind-the-scenes video that has now come out with regard to Mamdani's, his push and his run for New York City mayor. Guys, it doesn't stop with New York City. They are openly saying if they get this mayoralship in November of this year, that they will have the entire state. Take a listen.
With Zoran, we're in basically the best possible position to seize state power that we can be in, because we're like this, right? DSA has regular meetings with him, let alone his team. His policy director is my friend. I've been working with his campaign manager for well over a year.
People come to DSA by way of Zoran, that's awesome, but then we can help them become more radicalized. So Zoran is his first step, and then all of a sudden you're doing all kinds of awesome organizing.
He said, "I'm going to get socialists to vote for me, and I'm going to get Muslims to vote for me." Zoran himself, who's about to become the mayor of the largest city in the United States, is facing the same attacks that undocumented immigrants just trying to get a job at Home Depot are facing right now. We wrote the platform with him. The team was so
Let's bring it back, Krista.
to work with us.
Okay,
on
so
this.
first of all, the undocumented workers that are hanging outside of Home Depot are not applying to work at Home Depot, you dummy.
They're not. And can I just say, Allie, two things. He's referring to DSA working with this Mamdani. Okay, that is the Democrat Socialist of America. Where are all the people that are screaming that we're Nazis? Can they? Do you not know that that's within your own party? It truly is. This is a faction of the Democrat Party. It's a cancer of the Democrat Party. And here they're openly admitting that Mamdani's campaign is working openly with them. Now, listen, here's the other thing. If you take a look at that video, like when he first came on, I was looking and I'm squinting because I probably need glasses. And I was like, what is it? What's on their face?
Half of them got masks on.
These masks. It's like Islamic extremism is here. We just duped part of our country into covering their face. You ever wonder how those women survive over there that have to cover their faces in that heat over there in the desert? They got you to do it with a virus that has a 99-point survival rate, and they're still wearing it. Sorry, that just kind of like, no. And maybe as a woman, that's why I could never wear the masks. You want me to cover my what? My mouth? No, I'm sorry. No, that's not going to, no.
And yeah, no. And then they're going to be kicking themselves in the butt if he does win. He's not going to, but it's not good for anybody. And I don't understand how they don't see that. I do understand because
it's foreign money and foreign influence. Listen, we said it. If you're going to attack the United States of America with our new Secretary of War, our new War Department, you're not stupid enough to actually do it like you did in Pearl Harbor. They're not going to attack our country that way. They've learned a long time ago that type of warfare will not happen and be fruitful in this country. So they use this fifth generation warfare fifth generation warfare that General Michael Flynn always talks about, infiltrating with foreign intelligence and foreign money to try to topple our government from the inside. This is,
And it's been proven. It actually has come out. I don't know. We don't have it on here, but it's, oh no, you do. Okay, never mind. I think you do.
Oh, are we getting there? Okay, we'll get there.
Yeah.
But further proof that the extreme left that does costume changes, they can't decide if they're pro LGBTQ, pro Antifa, or just anti-ICE. They, again, have a bigger wardrobe than I think Broadway does in New York City. They still don't get it. Okay, we have hostages being freed, phase one of a peace plan negotiated, which Hamas is part of. And you got this happening in Portland. Take a look. I don't even know. What is that?
So they were all naked riding around. It was naked cyclists. Naked, like ass naked. Like no clothes. None at all. Riding bikes.
Wait. Bring it back here. Oh my gosh. Allie.
Girl.
They were naked riding bikes?
Naked. Like all birthday suit. Like just everything. All hanging out. And I'm like, some of y'all need to be embarrassed. Around ICE facilities. Like, what is that? What? I don't understand. The two do not correlate. Naked and ICE. Like, I don't. It doesn't make sense to me. I don't understand.
It doesn't make sense.
Crazy.
I see the Palestinian flags there still, and I'm like, did you not read? Do you not understand that there's that?
The Palestinians are free. They're not free from Hamas, but
they're
they're getting there. Maybe, I don't know.
Okay, so again, just wanted to reiterate and double down on these pure stupidity of whoever's funding and whatever message. Listen, the left, the extreme left.
It's
Soros,
like just cause a disruption. Whatever, no matter what you do.
Soros, sing him. All you guys listen. Maybe get a higher level marketing team because who's ever running your messaging, it's not working. First of all, nobody wanted to see any of these people naked. I mean, that's not ill, and nobody wants to see them on a bike. And third of all, they're not even on message with what's happening in current events. Like, at least it used to be if you wanted to protest peacefully for a topic or something, you at least found something that was currently in the headlines. They're just making shit up now. I don't know.
Because it's about disruption. It's never about the issue. And this is what is important. This is why I cannot wait until we sit down with James Lindsay, because he explains this in such an amazing way.
We'll see him this weekend.
Yeah, we are. We're going to see him this weekend.
Okay.
I'm already. I think I already have like a time.
She's like, I've already cornered.
I'm already working on it, girl. I already got it because like I'm like we need to have a conversation, sir. But no, like it's and I was gonna say something, but I'll save that for like another episode. But yeah, so I really think that it's awesome. It's never about the issue. It is always about the disruption. And so that's where they're so successful at it because it doesn't make sense and they get the coverage that they need. And they get the disruption that they need, but it's stupid.
Well, yes, and I need for you guys to understand as we continue down this road of what's happening in our country now. These same cancer cells in our country, again, have a right to your own belief, have a right to your own faith, but not to substitute the Constitution with Sharia law. That is the extremism that we are talking about not seeing on our soil. But take a listen. It's not just Mamdani, as Ali said, in New York City. CAIR, which the initials are CAIR, it's not so much that they care, it's just those are the initials. The Council on American Islamic Relations. They are launching, Ali, they've launched a Muslim Super PAC to influence U.S. elections. Now, a lot of people have, moms have Super PACs, veterans have Super PACs, so it's not really alarming to see.
Friends of Ali Leger.
Yes, we've got. We've got all the things. But I want you to take a quick listen to Glenn Beck as he's talking about some of these super PACs that will now be trying to influence our elections in this country. Take a listen.
Big deal. Let me just remind you who CAIR is before we get into this. We have the court case. I have someplace in this pile of papers, the actual court case from the United States of America versus the Holy Land Foundation. What we found out in this case for the very first time is there was an elaborate scheme that was launched by the Muslim Brotherhood to tip American sentiment, policy, and money in support of Hamas. It was officially designated by the United States government a foreign terrorist organization. Now, if anyone doubts whether the Muslim Brotherhood had a role in the creation of Hamas or if they advocated for violence, all you have to do is look at the Hamas charter. Article 2 states, quote, the Islamic resistance movement, which in Arabic would be Hamas, is one of the wings of the Muslim Brothers in Palestine. The Muslim Brotherhood movement is a world organization, the largest Islamic movement in the modern era. Okay, so we know that the Muslim Brotherhood was involved. It's a wing. It's a wing. That's it. But it's a peace movement, right? The Muslim Brotherhood is a peace movement. Well, Article 13 says, and I quote, peace initiatives, the so-called peaceful solutions, and the international conferences to resolve the Palestinian problem are all contrary to the beliefs of the Islamic resistance movement. There is no solution to the Palestinian problem except by jihad. Oh, okay. So the Muslim Brotherhood created Hamas very specifically to fight Jews and to destroy Israel in Palestine. But they also created a Hamas support group, and they've done this all over the world. Now, the reason why they put this support group together was to find money to support the fight, but also influence other countries to change their policies on Israel and to support Hamas. The Muslim Brotherhood quickly moved to the United States and set up one of these networks. Now, they set up three things. The Muslim Brotherhood in the United States established what is called the Palestine Committee. The Palestine Committee was broken up into three parts. They had to create a think tank, the United Association for Studies and Research. So they had a think tank. Then they had the Islamic Association of Palestine. That was in charge of propaganda. Then they needed a fundraising arm to be able to channel money over to Hamas. That's why they created the Holy Land Foundation, known as the Fund. So the propaganda arm became CAIR. It was created by the Muslim Brotherhood Palestinian Committee, and all of this is in court documents. It was created as a tool for the Islamic Association of Palestine by three men, Nihad Awad, Omar Ahmad, and Rafiq Jabbar.
He goes into more detail, and I love Glenn Beck is like, I don't think he was a professor, but he's got that teacher mentality. He doesn't just talk, he teaches. So I want you to understand that, this is a wonderful name, CARE, right? Like, wow, that's amazing. But you have to understand where the origins and where the roots goes. And if you thought that Barack Obama was such a complete piece of work here in the United States, well, he comes from that same arm of thought through the Muslim Brotherhood. He very much so is a sympathizer. You can see what a disaster our Middle East presence was. I mean, they talked about it with Benjamin Netanyahu and others. Like, they had no support. The reason why there was no peace in the Middle East is because they looked at Barack Obama and they're like, he doesn't lead the way. So he doesn't, if you don't have an adult in the room, you never actually get things done in the room. So just want to turn our attention to the fact that when you see candidates arising throughout 2026, right, you're going to need to do some research on who's funding. And that's very easy to do. We'll have some call to actions on how to do that as well.
Well, we've already seen that there's been evidence that came out that Mamdani is getting foreign money dumped into his campaign, and that violates a lot of federal, violates a lot of things. And so we're keeping a close eye on that too.
Yeah, he failed to return. I guess they caught him in Mamdani, and he failed to return 88 of the 170 foreign donations it received, total of a little over $7,000. Other reports say that his mayoral campaign took $13,000 in illegal foreign donations. We don't need foreign interest donating into any elections, really, in our country, but especially not.
They were mad about it when it was happening, quote unquote, happening, because it wasn't happening.
Right.
When they said it was happening to Trump with Russia, but we're going to not say anything about a mayoral candidate getting money from the Middle East. What?
Absolutely.
So does it only matter if it's Russia, or does it matter if it's all foreign?
Well, that's a good segue for our next video here. And I apologize to our viewers because we have to kind of skip around a little bit. We're running a little short on time, but there has been a FOIA request by independent journalists. Thank you, John Solomon, who have realized that not only has our intelligence community under Barack Obama been completely snowballing, and you as the American people, about what's been taking place. They allowed this Russia hoax, Russia collusion for President Trump during the 2016 election. They allowed that to go out. They denied that Hunter Biden's laptop with all the kiddie porn is not real. All that turned out, as evidence shows through the released documents, it turns out that it was not only real, but I want you to take a listen to this report of 20 CIA and FBI officials. These are people that work for their whole life in the intelligence community who've come out and said this is what took place under the, I guess I want to call it, Biden administration. Take a listen.
A short while ago, Just the News obtained this email. This is a very important email.
Yeah, sorry. It's the bombshell released. Yeah, the bombshell one.
Fox News alert, the director of national intelligence, Tulsi Gabbard, releasing a bombshell report today that shows a conspiracy by a sitting president, Barack Obama, and his intel agencies to sabotage the president-elect, Donald Trump, brainwash the electorate, and undermine the legitimacy of an election.
There is irrefutable evidence that detail how President Obama and his national security team directed the creation of an intelligence community assessment that they knew was false. They knew it would promote this contrived narrative that Russia interfered in the 2016 election to help President Trump win, selling it to the American people as though it were true. It wasn't.
Gabbard got her hands on a House intel report that's been locked away in a CIA vault for almost a decade. Investigators spent over 2,000 hours looking into how the Russia hoax was born, interviewing 20 CIA and FBI officials. And it turns out that the Obama administration doctored the intelligence to make it look like Putin and Trump stole the election. A month after Trump beat Hillary, Barack Obama wasn't satisfied with his intelligence reporting and ordered his CIA director to create a new assessment of how Russia interfered with the election. This was a highly unusual move. John Brennan handpicked 5 CIA analysts to write the assessment, and they were siloed. None of them knew what the other was doing, and only one analyst was in charge of drafting this report. There was nothing routine about this, and it was a rush job. to publish before Trump was sworn in. Nothing was coordinated with the other intelligence agencies either. Basically, this was home cooking for Barack Obama. There were 4 key elements from the assessment that were repeated over and over again and formed the basis of the Russia hoax and the Robert Mueller witch hunt.
Let's bring it back,
One,
Krista.
that Vladimir Putin...
So he goes on to talk about, the fact that if I'm in an intelligence apparatus, if I'm an individual that works in the FBI, I have a certain, I guess, protocol that I would go through to determine if a source is credible. And many of them were saying, this is not a credible source. Oh, right. We hear what you're saying over here. This is not a credible source. And it was a shock to find those sources now in this document that Barack Obama had constructed. But one of the biggest things that they go on to say in this interview, and I love Jesse Waters, he goes on to say, listen, they're saying that Putin was in the mix and trying to fix our elections for Trump. Actually, they had dirt on Hillary Clinton.
Right.
And Putin said, I'd much rather have Hillary Clinton in there because I've got dirt on her. And if he was in the mix for Trump, why wouldn't he have released the dirt on Hillary Clinton? Wouldn't that have helped sway the election? That's why this whole thing is a farce.
It's BS. I mean, I said
it's BS.
It's BS.
That's my sister. I love you.
No, for sure though. It's crazy, but yet we're gonna allow a mayoral candidate to get away with certain things. It's crazy to me. And we wonder why we say there's a 2-tier justice system. Absolutely. But this is worse than Nixon. This is way worse than Nixon. And the fact that most people are still quiet about it and don't understand what's really going on, or they're like, oh, but I don't know. What do you mean you don't know? Like, the evidence is right there. You just are committed to your own ignorance and don't want to admit that your perspective is wrong.
This is why they fought so hard when you and I were in D.C. They fought against the Tulsi Gabbards from really getting the sealed the nomination.
You see why now, right?
I can see why.
Do you see why now?
Oh no, yes,
Same
absolutely.
thing with Pete Hegseth. They fought him tooth and nail too. Same thing with Kennedy and Patel. And they literally fought everybody that is really, honestly, making a difference right now.
Absolutely. Allie, I want to leave our viewers on a high note here. It's not very often we get to see President Trump. Well, we've seen him behind the scenes a little bit with his kids and his grandkids, but his daughter Kai is Don Jr.'s daughter, and she's an avid golfer. She's a great golfer. So she got a chance to go golfing with her grandpa. Take a listen.
Is there a dream that you're still trying to chase, or have you reached all your dreams?
You were asking questions like you're a television comp. I thought I was just going to come out and play around the golf with you. And that's,
I want.
You're asking questions like I'm on television. Yeah, no. Look, you become president. That's a dream, right?
Yeah.
Can't.
I don't think you.
Now you can. No, you dream. Now you want to be a great president.
Yeah.
Now you're president. Now your dream is to be a great president.
I think you're doing a pretty good job.
Aww.
I love the human side of him. He is such a grandpa and such a dad and such a mentor. And he really does have a heart for people. And I wish our media would just try to hone in on that a little bit more. And this is why we need to get rid of repeal the Smith Modernization Act. And I really do need everybody to get on that. I really do. I think they want to change it, the Charlie Kirk Act.
Yes.
But either way, it needs to be repealed. I don't care what the name of it is. It needs to be repealed, and so everybody needs to call Speaker Johnson. You don't need me to find the number for you. You can go in your search.
You can go
type in contact Speaker Johnson's DC office, and it'll pull up the phone number, guys. Like, you have to participate in your own governance. Call them and tell them you want to repeal this.
Absolutely, Allie. I think part of what I love about this is seeing the humanity beside President Trump, inside President Trump, is that too many times, especially in our culture and in our country, even in our own lives, you wait to really appreciate somebody until they're gone. And I know that how history is going to reflect on President Trump, because we're going to make sure that these things are properly documented. We write history. We're the ones that leave that message for the next generation. We're going to make sure that it's accurate. But let's not wait until we no longer have Trump in office, or we're at his memorial, till we go, oh my gosh, remember how great he was. Like, let's walk in that today and realize what we're blessed with in this country, and let's pray for the future. I think we saw a lot of them at our Turning Point event yesterday. The future looks bright with these young people. They get it. And Charlie Kirk lit their fire.
Well, it's up to us to keep it. It's up to us.
That's right.
We have a republic. If you can keep it, guys, what are you willing to sacrifice for the furtherance of this nation and the continuing of liberty and freedom and sovereignty here? All right, y'all. We love y'all so much. Thank you so much for joining us. We will catch you live tomorrow at 10 a.m. Don't forget tonight Spaces at 7 p.m. It'll be fun. Bye, guys.
Bye.